The many thousands of people who have turned out across the country to protest the death of George Floyd are a reminder that we all have a voice when it comes to speaking out and taking action against racial injustice. We've also seen many well-known Americans who are using their fame as a platform to help call for change. One of them is actor Sterling K. Brown. I asked him earlier this evening why he has been moved to speak out.
Lester, first of all, thank you for having me. I think that silence is accepting the status quo as if it is okay, and it's not okay. You know, we're in the midst of a pandemic where our health is being threatened, and in the midst of that, 3 instances in a row, Black people have seen Black bodies destroyed. In the case of Ahmaud Arbery, in the case of Breonna Taylor, and now with Mr. George Floyd. And this is a pandemic of discrimination and police brutality that has been plaguing this country for far too long. And I think people are fed up. They've had enough, and real change needs to be seen to know that this country is for all of us. We all want to feel protected and served by the institution that is tasked with that goal.
Tell me, when you saw the video of George Floyd under that police officer's knee, I assume you felt the horror that most people who saw that felt, but tell me what it made you want to do. What inside did it make you want to do?
Oh, man. You know, I cried the same way in which I cried when I saw Ahmaud Arbery taken away, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Austin, countless others. But it also made me realize I'm a citizen of these United States. And there have been many times in which I've been told in my capacity that why don't you just be quiet and act? You know, you don't have to get political right now. Like, why don't you just stick to your show? And as a citizen who has a voice and who's fortunate enough to have a platform, I'm trying to find ways to utilize that platform to let the world at large know that what is happening in this country cannot continue. Something significant has to change, or the unrest that we're experiencing right now will continue.
You're also a father. You have 2 sons. How do you think society looks at your son? They don't know them. How do they see them?
That's a great question. You know, the adulterization and dehumanization of the Black body has been happening for a very long time. An incident happened not too long ago when my son was playing in a soccer game. And he's a very hard player. He goes all out. And I say, if you do your best, big boy, whether you win or you lose, you can be proud of yourself and hold your head up high. And the referee, who was a very nice woman, she pulled my son aside after he was making an aggressive play, not a dangerous play, but an aggressive play, and told him that he was being wild and that he should be careful before he hurt someone. And I found it interesting that she singled him out because he wasn't the most aggressive person on the field and wasn't the most dangerous. She used the word wild, describing a human being. And this is one of those instances of implicit bias that we encounter time and time again, where people say things that are hurtful, and I don't even think that they are cognizant of the fact that they're doing it. I pulled her over after the game and I said, "Ma'am, did you call my son wild?" And she said, "I did." I said, "You have to be careful with the language that you use with young Black children, because he's a human being and he's not wild. He plays hard. And if you reframed it, you would probably reframe it in another way with another child. And he's crying on the bench right now because he's just a boy. And I need you to apologize." And she did. She did, and she was very sweet. But that sort of thing happens for young Black children, for Black men and women, gay, straight, trans, cis, all the time, just by the nature of the way that we.
I want to get your take on our priorities as a country right now. We're watching these street protests. We've also seen, you know, people take advantage of them, destroy property, and that's become a concern. Do you think we're focused properly on what's most important right now?
I think you have to be, what I'm heartened by, what I'm encouraged by in the midst of all of it, is a coalition of people coming together who are vocalizing the need for change. Black, white, Asian, Latino, etc. That has been my primary focus and the thing that I am heartened by. I feel like when I have friends speak to me and they are concerned about vandalism, looting, rioting, I understand that. I have no desire to minimize that. I also ask that they be equally, even more so, appalled at the loss of life. It's not an excuse. I feel like a lot of the vandalizing that is happening is coming from outside groups that are not directly attached to Black Lives Matter, so I want to be cognizant of that. For those people that are looting, like I asked them to stop, please be on message because we want change, real lasting change. And I want outrage for the loss of life. That's how I feel.
You know, Sterling, things move awfully quick. I mean, who would have known 2 weeks ago we'd be talking about something other than COVID, something that would knock COVID down in the news cycle? So, knowing how fast life travels, are you worried that as a country we don't have a stick-to-itness?
That's always a concern. And I'm hopeful, Lester, I'm hopeful that this isn't just a moment, but it's the beginning of a movement.